Looks like we are live. Maybe.
Cool.
Well, we've been live for like 5 seconds.
Sweet.
Dun, 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 dun. That's that. Alright, let's go. Are we live? There we go. Look at that. Technology is a beautiful thing, isn't it? So good at the technology. I'm getting better at it anyway. 115 is where we're at.
Yeah, whatever I wrote on the thing is correct. I checked it. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Easy peasy. We're live.
Cool.
Did you want to? Is there a sponsor read? Cue music. How do you want to? How do you want to do this one?
Why don't we mix it up today? Why don't we go Bangman first, then music,
Sure.
and then we can do EJ cards.
I'm down
And
to
probably
that.
hang out just somewhere in between. How does that sound?
I think that's very workable. That is very, very,
Right,
very
you
workable.
give me a finger signal, and I'll press play.
Is that a sync?
We have a new sponsor supporting the show.
Let's try again.
Try again. Sorry, I'm reading Karan's message too.
We have a new sponsor supporting the show. It is The Bangman, who is a new startup and have been operating since June this year, delivering a variety of hobby packs in a single box at an affordable price. So far, they've delivered some huge hits. The biggest one they've pulled so far is a Steph Curry Signatures Gold Auto to 10, which came out of the July edition. Some comps have been rounded up to about 15k AUD, which was verified by Card Letter. So if you're not familiar with what the Bangman is and what their product is offering, it's basically an assortment of hobby packets put into a box at an affordable buy-in. You can then open a variety of different hobby packs. Some of the advantages of buying into a product such as this is that you can sample a whole bunch of different products. Another way to think of it is doing your own break at home. The advantage of the Bangman's product is you are purchasing sealed, unsearched hobby packs as opposed to a single card repack product that has a huge range in value. Just to make the clear delineation between the Bangman's product and any traditional repack, when you buy into a Bangman product, you are getting the guarantee of the Panini seal, and then all of the hits then come out of sealed products. So all the numbered cards, if appropriate for the product, rookie patch autographs, signature cards, and of course those super short prints and case hits. Another key point for the Bangman product is that they have an assortment of different hobby packs in a custom box at two different price points, one being a gold edition and the other being a silver edition. Each month, the Bangman changes up the pack so it's not the same constant lineup. For listeners of our podcast, we have an exclusive deal for you. Use promo code YouCan'tCompThis to get a $15 discount off your next purchase. Find the Bangman on Instagram, the.bang.man, and on Facebook, The Bangman. Thank you so much, Amir and Team Bangman.
Welcome everybody to episode 115 of the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. We are your hosts, Adam, Amy, and Russell Gibson, and we're here to answer some questions today, Russell.
Definitely some questions. And Scotty Barnes, that's the thing I want to talk about first, Dad. Let's just get straight into it. Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes, first cab off the rank.
So Scotty Barnes last year had a ridiculous slide to the point that it slid so far it almost seemed unpopular to buy into some of his stuff. I think the situation in Toronto last year was definitely, something in flux, and whether that influenced his play or not. Look, it's probably a bit unfair to sort of put those two things together, but he definitely, didn't play up to his, potential in any means. This season, he's completely turned around. 36 minutes a game. 22.6 points, 9.9 rebounds, 5.9 assists, 1.1 steals, 2.1 blocks, and just 3 turnovers a game. So I think the thing to like about Scotty Barnes is that he can literally do everything on the court. And I think that was the thing to me in his rookie that was like so obvious, like just straight out the bat, was he could do a little bit of everything. So I think that was the part where I was a little bit surprised last year when he did struggle, and maybe also to why he fell off so hard. Like that,
True.
that really did shock me.
Yeah.
You know, and that actually could be a larger issue, you know, inside the hobby. And that's actually something I want to talk about later in the show when we do a couple of comps of two different players. They sort of get that first year rookie hype, then they dip down,
Yep.
and then they pick back up again. So I think this is almost like the classic, you could even say sort of cliche, you know, the rookie bubble pops, they, you know, drop down, but then, you know, they come good and, you know, they pick right back up again. So I think
Yeah, for sure.
next week I want to do a segment about my top 5 buys in the league, and Scotty Barnes is going to be in that top 5. And I think the reason I want to start with him in this show, I think he's the guy who's been on my mind, you know, the most this week. And I found a couple of really interesting ones. So Scotty Barnes, unfortunately, is not on card ladder, so it does make it a little bit trickier to, you know, to find aggregated, you know, numbers and all that type of stuff. But basically, he's silver selling for $250. So if we remember, you know, from the last couple of weeks,
Okay. Yeah.
that's sitting around sort of the Darren Fox mark. That's sitting around the Tyrese Maxey mark at the moment too, because Maxey had that big jump from 200 to 250, and then obviously it's much less than Ja Morant, it's less than Zion, it's less than Tatum, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I think the play here though with Scotty Barnes, and I think this plays out actually across a number of rookies at the moment, is buying the silvers raw and then sending them up to PSA for grading. So you can pick raws up from 15 USD up to 30 USD. Obviously, you need to have your eye in, you know, in terms of centering, or at least, you know, have a look at them before you send them off.
Yeah.
But if you're buying something for 40 to, you know, say, let's just say 40 USD, just keep it simple and, you know, without trying to play the numbers game too much, and it's coming back at 250, you know, I think that's...
Well, it's interesting because have we established that Raw is pretty much PSA 8? Is that like it's no golden rule, but that what we found on average through what we've seen, it is you pretty much get parity on a Raw card for a PSA 8. So if you're getting a 9 or a 10 off your Scotty Barnes, you're probably getting an uptick.
9 is tricky at the moment, so
Nine's
it's actually
the new
really
7.
interesting because the disparity between a 9 and a 10 is huge. Like,
It's
it really
ridiculous,
is
yeah.
huge. I think that's the only way to say it. Yeah. And if you're looking at, so let's just keep with Scotty Barnes. So a 9 sold for 33 USD. So it's actually possible that you could buy one for 33 USD, you know, even up to 40, send it off for grading, which is obviously going to cost you, and the postage.
It's an interesting. It's a
gonna
little
come back,
lottery.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would probably also say too, some of these sales, this is from the 6th of November. I think these are going to uptick in the next couple of weeks. I don't think he can keep playing the way that he is, and, you know, there's not going to be a response in the market. You know, I think the bigger thing for me is, you know, is this like a short-term flip, or is it, you know, something that you're looking at for the next 2 years?
Yeah.
I rate Scotty Barnes as somebody, you know, for the next couple of years. Now, in saying that, if you do want to flip the Scotty Barneses that you're holding at the moment, I'd probably actually say now is not the best time to be selling. I think in the next couple of months, if he keeps playing the way that he does, you know, that would be the time to do it. But I think just very exciting, because I think, you know, there's nothing worse when young players do slide down like he did. You know, that was, you know, not fantastic.
Yeah.
I think we spoke a bit before about situation. The thing I put this is the Fred VanVleet loss. I think this is the addition by subtraction. You know, I think it puts a lot of weight onto Scotty Barnes. You know,
for
and
sure.
His playmaking, and he's played really well.
Well, the pressure's on for him to step up now, which is good. And obviously he needed that pressure to start performing, because it's been a ripper start to the season, but we're at a small sample size so far.
Yeah, it is small sample size theatre too. I definitely do agree with that. But I would also say too, for someone like Scotty Barnes,
Cue the early season overreactions for the next couple of weeks. It's going to be great.
No, but it's okay. I think it's okay to be excited about something like this, because you know, this type of play, of course it can fall off. Of course it can. But I think for him, it's just playing up to his potential.
Yeah, for
frankly.
sure.
That's how I feel about
I
it.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Alrighty. So the next thing in our run sheet today, is from Darren Roval. So if you don't follow Darren on Twitter, do, because he is just exceptional. I would probably say don't have all of his notifications turned on, because he is a prolific tweeter, and 80% of them, you don't need to read. So I've actually adjusted his settings, to be honest. But he's really the card equivalent of Woj. I think that's where he's moved into now, where he's just dropping bombs every second day or so. And he's now reporting that LeBron is signing again. So very, very exciting. The writing was on the wall for this a few weeks back when we spoke about this, when he was removed from Upper Deck exclusive. So he's still signed with Upper Deck, but clearly now he's also signed a contract with Fanatics. And
that means
look,
LeBron
I think
autos.
for-
Yep.
Yeah. And I think for collectors, LeBron autos have risen to a point now where they're almost so unaffordable that they're untouchable for a lot of people. So I do speculate that, and I don't want to say this in a headline way. I'm trying to say this in more of a pragmatic way. I do think this means that more people are going to be able to touch them and get their hands on them.
Yeah, for sure.
And
For sure.
Do you know what I mean when I say that? So, and
Yeah.
please don't, aggregate this to say, oh, they're going to fall, and, now's the time to sell LeBron before, this happens. Like, that's not what I'm saying at all.
I don't
still
think
they need-
he's not going to pull the I'm now going to sign like 500,000 cards and just sit there.
Yeah.
Like, it depends. If he gets injured, he might have the time to do that. But at the moment, he's playing enough minutes to not be focusing on signing cards in his spare time. So there'll be some signings, but it's not going to be a flood. The dam gates are not opening, but LeBron's auto will be more regularly available, is what you're trying to say, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. So the interesting thing here is the product that he's signing in. So he's signing for Bowman Chrome University, right? So this is a college product. And so this is where I think this is heading. So I personally love college product because it lets you get cards, rip cards at a much more affordable point. Obviously the downside of these cards is they're not that collectible and they're not in pro uniform. So the value just isn't there. So like I'm putting all the cards on the table here. I'm not trying to talk these cards up, right?
So there's multiple follow-on questions from that. Does it change
so
the...
this is like...
Yeah.
This is where I'm leading this into. This year's Prism Draft, which is the Panini version of that, has been very, very popular because it's got Wembanyama cards in it. And people have been actually chasing to rip this stuff. Whereas the last couple of years, it almost felt like you couldn't give this stuff away.
Yep.
So what I think Fanatics is actually trying to do here, I think they're trying to directly compete with that product. So you can say, you can get Wembanyama cards. Okay, that's fine. Or you can open this college product where you can get a Bronny James and or a LeBron James autograph. So that
LeBron
to me
auto
is
pretty
super
tempting,
interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I also think that's a little bit clever by Fanatics. So instead of just being like a bully in the courtroom and, tearing up a contract and, taking over the NBA stuff, they've actually sat down and said, okay, what can we do to these guys to actually, direct compete with them? I actually prefer that a lot more because I think that's better for collectors.
Yep.
And that's the whole argument about having more than one person producing cards. It puts two people against each other and then they are actually competing head to head.
Creates
right?
competition, the monopoly. Yeah. That's for sure. But there's no doubt about it, for sure.
It's a lesser product, but it's also like super fun. So
well, I'm like, at what point is it like, oh, there's LeBron autos in this, there's Jordan autos in that, like they can sign college product and all of a sudden everybody's pushing towards the college product.
Look, I think for someone like me who's enjoyed college product for a while, this is great.
Yeah.
What do I think about this for the greater collectors? I don't think it moves the needle that much. People will buy it. People will rip it. People will hope they'll get a LeBron James auto, and that's it, man. Like,
If
do you know
there's
what I mean?
all right, so if Steph Curry, no, just saying
It
when
doesn't.
Fanatics
It
go
doesn't
into
raise the ceiling of the rest of it. That's where I'm going
okay,
with that.
but
anyway.
so what would it take to make this product a standout? Because you talked about the affordability. If
Yeah.
stars start signing this,
Yeah, sure. When does it flip around?
when does it turn into harder to get? Because the price goes up. Supply and demand. Everyone wants to get, I don't know, Curry in his Davidson top. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, okay. So use the Curry example. So in the Panini products, the college athletes do the signatures, but it has the pro players like Chris Paul in his Wake Forest jersey, and then Steph Curry in his Davidson, but they don't sign.
yeah. So
So
if they start signing
Yeah.
their college stuff, does that up the value and then, sorry, up the product's value
Yeah, yeah,
and
sure.
in turn the retail price? Because
I would say
more people want
hypothetically,
it, yeah.
yes, but I don't actually think that's what that product was designed for. I really think it was about getting the college players out there and
True.
that very, very early look at prospects out there for
Yeah,
people.
I'm of the mind that if Panini see Fanatics
Yeah, sure.
countering their product with something flashier like LeBron, they go, well, how many autos have we got? Curry can sign, Durant can sign, etc., etc.
Look, it's a bold move by Fanatics, really, isn't it? When you think about it. So
Maybe we
it
could all
shows-
profit from this, like this experiment over the next couple of years while the handover is sort of happening.
When you say profit, do you mean it's a good idea to buy up Bowman Chrome University?
Maybe.
See, the irony about this, I've still got Bowman Chrome from 2 years ago sitting in my cupboard that I can't get rid of. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, this is going to be the crazy
Correct.
thing. This stuff is going to go like hotcakes.
Yes, it's, I don't know. It's, I feel like we have the potential to reap the benefits from them competing against one another, and I think there'll be some interesting creative stuff that happens, rather than profiting. But I think the hobby will grow as a result of some friendly competition.
Yeah.
Be
For
nice.
that short period of time. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Right. I think the next thing we talk about just really quickly is Kevin Durant. He has now become the 12th leading scorer in the NBA. He
Yep.
scored 27,000 points.
And he's
Now-
also become Victor Wembanyama's bunny. Oh no, he owned him and dropped 38 and 10 the other day against Phoenix. It was pretty funny to watch. Anyway,
I actually really liked the interaction that those two had.
They
You could
did, they did,
clearly
they did.
tell that Wembanyama loved KD.
he loves
And
competing.
I think what KD said at the press conference was actually very
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 complimentary.
nice, very professional. I like that.
Yeah.
Look, the reason I want to talk about this is because I think sometimes we don't give enough love to KD in the hobby, and part of that is because he's changed teams. People
Mm.
say he jumped on the Golden State Warriors' coattails, even though I actually disagree with that. I don't think they would have won a chip without KD.
It's interesting. It's I say that, but yes, KD always wants to be the number one guy, but he's always seems to be the number two. Anyway,
I think this is a really good reminder of we're in the middle of seeing someone who is great,
yeah,
first ballot Hall of Famer play, and just to remind ourselves, Kevin Durant is a valuable hobby piece, and that
For
we
sure,
shouldn't
for
sort of
sure.
take this almost for granted. I really do think that a lot of KD stuff is undervalued, and this is what I want to say with this segment. That's it. It's very
yep.
short. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, 27,000 points is a remarkable achievement.
If you look at the scoring list, there's no way he doesn't make it to 9th. I think he'll overtake Shaq.
Yeah,
I
no.
think getting past Wilt, Dirk, I think that's going to be about health for him, and he has had a few.
I feel like
major
health
injuries.
is the key there.
Yep.
You're right, for sure.
But getting past Jordan, Kobe, Karl Malone, I think that's going to be
That's going to be a bit of an
Really?
ask for him.
really, really difficult. But look, let's just say he settles in at 10th. Still that's
Sure.
amazing. Yep. James Harden has been traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. I'll just let you take over. I feel like you can do this one by yourself.
Not only are the Clippers cursed, but they're actually bringing another train wreck in. They're reuniting Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Oh my... Do we... Oh... this is going to be really good for about 2 weeks, and it's going to look amazing. And then one of them's going to get upset. Things are going to just fall apart. Paul George is going to start getting injured, and Kawhi is going to be playing every third game, if that. What were they thinking? The Clippers really, they don't want to make the NBA Finals, do they? I just don't see it working. It's all these bad pieces.
I feel like most of the things we talk about, we agree on. I'm almost polar opposites.
Oh, this is gonna be a train. Yeah. This is be a wait and see. I cannot wait to have an Andrew Gaze into the future about this one.
Okay, so my perspective on the Clippers was that have you watched much Clippers this year?
I have.
Okay, how would you describe Kawhi Leonard's mobility?
Not peak.
Yeah. I would say that's the thing I really noticed about him. From what I last remember him playing basketball, which was kind of a while ago now.
In Toronto?
He doesn't seem to have the same mobility.
His legs are cooked.
Yeah, I really think he's slowed down. So I think in our heads, Kawhi Leonard is this amazing athlete that can stop anybody and score, in the mid-range whenever he wants. I think that player is now not there anymore.
Yeah.
Paul George has got his injury history and he's, 2 years older essentially.
Yeah.
So I really think they had to add something, to this team to, relieve the load in terms of rest and load management, and then also to add a bit more firepower to the team.
Yep.
So I think adding James Harden is a big risk, but I think it's kind of one of those things of like either you're going to hit a home run or you're not. But I would also say too, I don't think they had enough to win a championship. So
yeah,
they gave up,
I don't even know at this point.
I don't think they overpaid though. So Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, KJ Martin. I mean, like that's just matching salaries. They gave up draft equity, but it seems like they don't value draft equity as much as other teams do. So they basically don't have a first round pick now until 2030, which sounds horrific for some teams, but clearly that's, not where their organization is. The thing for me, so I was listening to the podcast on ESPN this week with Zach Lowe, and he had another guest on. They basically said that this was about getting back draft equity and expiring contracts. And now they're going to potentially flip that into another piece and bring that in. And they also doubled down on that and said that was also built around the development of Tyrese Maxey. So I think, this is actually a really good time for us just to quickly segue into Tyrese Maxey and just say, where is Maxey sitting at the moment? Because we spoke about him last week and we have spoke about him. But at the same time, too, I think, things can change a lot in a week. And I'm just looking at his graph, very, very quickly now, and it's on a straight line up again. So for the second straight week, he's exponentially gone up. Yeah.
Look, it makes sense, doesn't it?
It definitely makes sense. But I'd also say, too, when does it stop, right? So he's now trading at $335. So
is this Jordan Poole 2.0? And it's not being harsh on the guy. I didn't mind it when he was sitting around the 200 to 250 mark.
So let's take your Jordan Poole analogy, right? So the Jordan Poole analogy, he's going to go to $1,000. The thing I will push back on is the talent level. I think Tyrese Maxey is a genuine NBA player and not just a gunner who is now been seen or proven to be irresponsible with the ball in his hands, because I think that's what's happened to Jordan Poole in Washington. I think his true colors have actually come out. Yeah. And I think the Warriors were molding him into probably his best potential Jordan Poole, right? And he doesn't have that veteran group around him now. Yeah.
Agreed.
So your question is can Maxey go to $1,000?
Well, look, I think he'll cap at 500 to be frank, but
okay, cool. But that's wild, right?
Yes.
So that then puts Maxey into a strong buy for you, is what you're trying to tell me.
I don't know. I'd rather have one than not. I'd rather have just opened it in a pack. I'm not paying $300 to try and then.
Yeah, but if you're telling me it's going to 500, it's currently at 300. That has to be a buy. Like
it has to be, but
come on, Ad.
Look, it is Melbourne Cup Day, so I could be a bit of a
This is
gambler.
your- this is your
my
gamble,
this
yeah.
is my time to gamble, right?
Yeah, totally.
Would I if I could pick up one for 250, I would take the gamble.
That's a straight line up, mate.
There
You're
are
not getting
people on eBay that miss auctions.
You're not getting
and-
one for 250.
Fine, I'll pick one up for 300, but I'm not getting any higher than that.
Okay. all
Not
right.
for someone that plays on a risky team, to say the least.
All right. We wildly segued there, but it was still kind of fun. Is there anything else you wanted to heap onto the Clippers before we move on?
Look, I think we've had enough. We've taken out the trash. We've talked about the Clippers. Does Philly get better out of this trade? Is my question.
So, yeah, sure. Look, I think they do get better by subtraction in the fact that their chemistry is going to be significantly better.
Well, they've added a little bit.
Yeah.
There's there is a little bit there.
I think PJ Tucker was overpaid for the production that he was giving them. You know, I've actually got no problem with paying PJ Tucker because I think sometimes numbers don't quantify everything that happens on a basketball court. But I would also say what is he now? The third oldest player in the league, or the
Something,
second?
something
Like,
crazy.
it's
like
ridiculous to pay him double digits in the millions personally. So I think that's good to get rid of that contract too. So actually, I think the Sixers did really well, considering that no one wanted to trade for James Harden.
That. This is
That
true.
was the story that was out there. Only the Clippers were offering. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, if it's the only team that's offering somebody, then I guess you sort of got to make it
home run.
work and get rid of it. Because I mean, there was no way Harden was going to play another game in Philadelphia. So anything Philly could get back for that contract was good for them. And
yeah,
the Clippers, well, time will tell on that one. And I don't know. I feel like it's going to be deja vu all over again. You're going to watch the Clippers slowly implode. But we'll see.
So, not that I'm being a Clippers defender, the defending point, though, is that all of those three guys, the three stars, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Paul George, all potentially could be free agents.
Russell Westbrook's a star as well. They might not be paying him a lot of money.
I don't really consider his contract to be clogging up their salary cap.
What,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
$4
they
million
could-
a year.
It's like maybe one of the best contracts in the league, you could argue, right?
Got overpaid. Anyway. Got him a bit rough on old Westbrook. Westbrook was good. Way back in OKC. Yep.
Card advice. I've been wanting to do this segment for a very long time, so we've finally got off our bums and got it sorted out. So if you listen to the Ryan Rosillo podcast, at the end of his pod, he does this segment called Life Advice. And I'm basically stealing from that and I'm changing it around to card advice. So we advertised for the last sort of 10 days or so on Instagram, Facebook. Please follow us on there if you don't already, at You Can't Comp This. And basically you send in your questions and then we will answer it and then we'll pick the best one. The winner gets from our sponsor EJ Cards a Pokemon Elite Trainer Box 151 or Women's AFL Box. So it's the winner can choose.
Nice.
So I think without any further ado, we just go into the questions. What I wanted to do, is actually we'll both answer them though. So then we'll get two different perspectives
That's fair.
on that. Yeah.
Have some fun with it.
Anthony Mild, if she asks me to give up on collecting, I tell her either this or cheat on you. You choose. Is that a question?
I feel like in your introduction you gave examples.
Oh yeah, okay. That without
My
context,
partner
it
says
probably
I need
doesn't
to get
make
rid of
sense.
some of my cards. How should I reply? And
Yep.
that's it.
Oh yeah, you're right. You've actually answered that so much better than what I did. Yeah, perfect.
It's either I give up cards or I cheat on you.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony, that's a tough one. I don't think that's really a question.
No,
You
but
know?
it also demonstrates how passionate Anthony is about his card collecting. So, we hear you. We hear you.
Samuel Squares, hey everyone, I've got a Rookie Zion Blue Flash that I'm tempted to sell. What do you guys prefer, selling on Facebook or on eBay? I like the idea of Facebook, but that seems like there's a lot of scammers about. Pictures and comments are not of mine, but just to give you a look at what it looks like. So it's from the Hoops Premium set. It's PSA 10.
Just to let everyone know, forgive the audio quality. The only thunderstorm in Victoria is above my house right now.
All
There's
right.
a little
Is that
red
what that
spot
was?
on the bureau's page, and that's where I am.
That's okay.
So it's currently hailing outside.
Is it really?
Oh,
wow.
it's really coming down hard. So I haven't turned my aircon on. It's just the rain. Anyway, sorry.
That's okay.
Continue.
So going back to Samuel's question, I think the crux of this question, it is about a card in particular, but it's more about the platform. So do you
Yeah.
like to sell on Facebook, which is more of a personal touch, and you're interacting directly with people's profiles, and also you don't get the fees associated, or do you have a much, much larger platform where you're essentially reaching, bunches of collectors worldwide, but you also need to pay up to 20% fees? On Sports Cards Nonsense, actually today I was reading a post about someone who put up cards for 99-cent auction. They ended, and he was basically complaining that he was selling, $100 cards for 99 cents. So I think
But
Part
if,
of
you,
it-
if you start the bidding at 99 cents and not a reserve that you're happy for it to go at,
Yeah.
that's a...
I
That's
think
on you.
one strategy to do is to start cards at pretty much the price that you want to sell it at, and then do it for an auction. So then you're potentially getting, the worst case scenario is you're getting the price that you want, and then you're getting that week of, bidding after that. I actually like sellers that do that. And I've also heard that in terms of verifying sales, if you just have one bid, so you set the price at 300, you've got a single bid on it, and that's it. So you're not being subject to shill bidding either. So that also removes that component, and all that sort of nonsense that happens at Probstein and all the rest of it. So
Yes.
so
Sorry.
Ad, I'll let you answer the question though. I've sort of
I'm looking... I'm actually just trying to gauge... Look, I mean, it's more about the platform than anything, right? If you want to get maximum return, I would say still go to eBay. But if you think as Pave you're trying to sell some other stuff, and Raw is probably where you sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Raw is, yeah. If I was selling graded, I'd probably go to eBay. Whereas if I was selling Raw, I'd probably go onto to Facebook Marketplace. That's sort of my love to both platforms, and they're used for different... I think they're used for different means. But yeah, I think you can obtain maximum value if you're careful on eBay. Don't go and list it as a 99-cent auction. If you want to sell it for something for $100, have the starting price around in or around that $100 mark, so you're not stitching yourself up. So there are ways to sell as well as on which platform. Anywho,
so that's my answer too. Actually, is that you sell on both platforms.
yep.
And that you do a set price. And I particularly think at the moment auctions are incredibly risky because of how the activity in the market has definitely decreased. And actually, I would say in the last 2 weeks it's decreased. So that is definitely something I would say. And then the other thing I would mention too is that this is like the Joshua Ferrugia rule of you list it into as many places as you can. So when he was selling cards, he was listing them on Facebook, and he would do it on multiple different pages, and he was also, in addition to that, he was also capturing that eBay market too. So yeah. So Samuel, thank you so much, mate. That was a really good question. Zachariah Kipper, I have got a 1/1 Joe Kick Pulsar Snakeskin, but it's a sticker auto. I graded with PSA and was given an 8, and since then I've sent it for regrading with Beckett. My question is, should I sell it, hold it, trade it, raw or graded? I'll let you open this one up, Ad.
All right, I'm turning the audio back on so everyone can hear the storm in the background.
It's okay, mate. These things are unavoidable.
Okay, so I was given an 8. I think we've talked about 1/1s in the past. The grade generally isn't... You'll see a lot of, what is it, National Treasures, 1/1s, they come back a 9. Like it's... I don't know, in this... It's Jokic. It's a real personal decision. I would hold it. Because I think a 1/1 of this man, I don't know I don't know how many people agree with me, but I think this man's about to win a third MVP award. Because, you know, with the sample size of 5 games, I'm getting excited about
Not
the
Scotty
joke.
Barnes.
No, not Scotty Barnes. Definitely not,
Not Anthony Davis.
Not Luka Doncic. Not Anthony Davis. It's, I don't know. Beckett might come back a 9, which would be nice. Would have been nice to have a gold number on it on the plaque, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a 1-of-1 Jokic is really a special card. It will appreciate over time, is my opinion, and a 1-of-1 makes it that much more sort of valuable in the future, because you know it's a 1-of-1.
Yeah.
It's annoying about the grade, but yeah, I still think it would be a hold for me, because I think Jokic is a special player, and I think his hobby value will only increase over time.
So my answer to this is with the power of hindsight, Zach. So please don't be annoyed about what I'm going to say to you, because what you did, you would never have known it was going to come back as a PSA 8. So that was unavoidable. And now you've sent it off to BGS. You know, again, like, we don't know what the score is going to come back, but I think the really good example to think about this, and it's the easiest one to understand, was remember that enormous fuss recently about the triple Logan and LeBron that was sent off to PSA, and all they did was authenticate it. I think it's really important to get cards slabbed, and for some cards, and I think in particular that LeBron, the reason why they sent it off just to get it authenticated is because they knew it was going to come back a 7 or an 8, and people visually seeing that would decrease potentially the bidding potential on it. So
yeah, I'm on board with that 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And this is the part where I'm about to like dip into like the power of hindsight here. I really do think that PSA is king. So even if BGS does give you back a better number, it's actually possible that a PSA 8 or even a PSA authenticated is going to be better than a BGS 9, because nothing has happened in the market in the last 12 months that has given BGS a step up. The only thing that they do possess is the black label. And if you've just got a PSA 8, I would say the probability of you getting back a black label is, you know, as close to 0 as you could potentially, you know, draw out a number to be. Going on to what you're talking about, should I sell it, hold it, or trade it? I actually 100% agree with you on this one, Ad. I think there's some people that you put into your collection and you hold for a reason. So what I mean by that is you hold it to put it into your vault forever. You hold it to trade it for something that is on your wish list that you've always wanted, or you sell it to, you know, to buy something else. Like, I think that's the reason why you have this type of card. But a 1-of-1 Joker is an important card. So yes, I think it's a hold.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Agree.
Matthew Hull, should I grade this? I PC the man and I wouldn't sell it, but I'll be so bummed if it's not a gem. It is a marquee Jason Tatum, 1-of-1 blue. Look, I actually, this is a really personal decision, and cards in my PC that are really important to me, I haven't sent them off for grading that I'm going to keep. I actually think One Touches are just as nice to look at as a card that's in a slab. But there's nothing particularly in those two things that, you know, make me go, oh, this looks better, this looks worse. So I'd actually say just keep it into the One Touch, mate. That's my answer.
If you're never going to get it graded, and it is, as you said, a 1-of-1, there is, and I don't recommend, like we just talked about it with PSA and the authenticating. There's nothing to really authenticate. And I know we don't, it's all about, so PSA getting it redone with somebody else would be silly. Because I would have said HGA, like get one of their cosmetic slabs. But just so it's slabbed. Because I like the idea of a card being in a proper slab on display. Can you send something to be authenticated by PSA just to make sure that the card is authentic? It's an authentic one of one. There you go.
100% you can.
So send it to PSA for authentication.
Yeah. Okay.
Put it in a slab. That would be. It's a one of one. I think that it's not a global rule, but it makes sense if you want to display something and everything else is in a slab.
Yeah, so that is a factor too. It depends what the rest of your PC's in.
If you've got a bunch of beautiful stuff that's in one touches, leave it in its one touch. But if you want to put it, you want to put it on display with a bunch of stuff that's slabbed, just get it authenticated.
Yeah.
Doesn't have an autograph on it. There's not much to authenticate whether or not the fact that it is actually a Panini basketball card.
Yeah. Matthew Hull again. My wife hasn't said to get rid of cards ever. She does say, how's the account looking? Yeah, sweet, Dale, is my response. If she did say that, though, I'd be like, hey, this is for the grandkids, and show an example of someone who held an MJ Fleer 86. So, Matt, I don't want to throw you into the poo here, buddy, but I've actually DM'd your missus to say, can you please coin that for me in the future? So she will be upping her her interrogation game significantly soon.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
Damo Winterbond, should I be buying up average at best 10 to 30 picks rookies in hope that become great in the second, third, and fourth years? And is there anyone wanting to buy Zach Collins PC? I'll let you kick off with this one, Matt.
All right, so I appreciate the tongue in cheek behind it. What I would my advice would not be to buy up those rookies. Any product you get, any breaks you go into, before you just willy-nilly toss your rookie cards, just hold on to them, look after them. They're rookie cards. It's as simple as that. You don't know what happens in 3 or 4 years' time when you're flicking through a box going, I can't believe I've got this rookie card. Oh, I remember I went in a break and got X team whatever. So, like, if you come across these things, hold on to them. That would be my advice. I mean, you might go through your box in 5 years and go, not in the league, not in the league, not in the league. Or you might go, oh, that guy's now a 2-time All-Star and has some hobby value. So that would be more rookies. What I do is I put them away in a box, and then from time to time I'll flick through and see if any of those seeds have blossomed, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go around buying them up, but I definitely wouldn't be fire selling them in their rookie season.
Yeah, I think the problem with blindly buying large volumes of players is that, particularly in the NBA, there are a lot of prospects that sometimes don't even make it into the NBA. And particularly, with like European players that get stashed. So we're talking about picks 25 to 45. Some of those guys, never play a single game. So look, I'd be definitely careful with doing that. Okay. But actually, this is a really good question for me. And this is a segment I want to do in the future, is because, and this is that whole bubble that we spoke about with Scotty Barnes. So the bubble bursts, then you actually can go back and get some value. So let's go back to the 2022 NBA draft. Let's look at picks 11 to 30. Okay, pick 11, Usman Deng. Pick 12, Jalen Williams. Pick 13, Jalen Duren. Pick 14, Ochai Agbaji. Pick 15, Mark Williams. Pick 16, AJ Griffin. Going down next, Christian Braun at 21. 22 is Walker Kessler. Beauchamp at 24. And then we've got Jovic at 27. Peyton Watson at 30. All of those players I would be very happy picking up at the moment without even checking comps.
Yeah.
I think, that there's a lot of space there for people who definitely haven't been highly prospected. Jalen Duren is probably the really obvious one on there.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that guy's been playing really well this year, and you check his comps. Like, I picked up a rookie card of him a couple of weeks back for like $3. It was a green prism, like, I'll admit that, but at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, what do you get these days for $3? You can't even get a cup of coffee. So, yeah.
True.
So, Damo, thanks for the question, mate. In regards to your Zach Collins PC, I would actually, my advice to you on Zach Collins is to be ready and be watching, because he's in the starting lineup for the Spurs this year. He's essentially Wembanyama's bodyguard.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of people watching him. So, look, I haven't checked Card Ladder or anything like that, but my initial thought would be Zach Collins would be slightly on an uptick at the moment.
Could be interesting.
Yeah. Adam, what's your thoughts?
Look, as far as Zach Collins, I don't know anyone that's looking to buy a Zach Collins PC. But if I do come across anyone, I'll be sure to let you know. Reading out those picks from 10 to 30 in the 22 draft was like, wow, okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's crazy, isn't it?
There's a bunch of players that I'm very interested in. So
Yeah.
I mean, year 3 is where they seem to really... It's where the unknowns... Like, who's one that I've got a bucket load... I know I've got a bucket load in one of my boxes of rookie cards. Because we've talked about it in the preseason. Malik Beasley.
Yeah, sure.
Like, if he gets a hot streak going and becomes a key role player...
Yeah.
Then do I try and flip those at $5 a piece rather than burn them as kindling?
Yeah, look... Yeah, I think Beasley's been a bit up and down this year. I was actually expecting probably a bit more from him, but
Yep.
he hasn't been terrible. But yeah, not quite where I thought he was going to be at.
That's all right. Give him a few more weeks.
Yeah, Nathan Lee Thomas. If you could only collect one set, what would it be and why? The one set that you'd collect every year and no others. For me, it would be Court Kings, as it's affordable, multiple Kate's hits, hobbies and blasters, rookie levels, has an overall nice design every year. Yeah. Never ending bank account. It would be Flawless or Eminence. Yeah, 100%. You do have to factor in price of this. Nathan, that's a really cool question. Thank you so much, mate. Where are you at, Ad?
I mean, I could obviously just go Prism because it's where everybody's the benchmark
It's
is for
the
the rookie.
liquid card.
Yeah. So if I'm actually looking as a financial perspective, I'm just going to buy Prism. That's the only set. I'll just wait till Prism comes out.
Yeah.
Because the Prism rookie is where that's liquid, right? If it's a set for my personal choice, I would just buy Select. It's the nicer looking version of Prism in my eyes. And that's, I wouldn't go too crazy with everyone else. And can I just have a guess of what you're going to answer? Mosaic.
Well, actually, I was going to say Select, and then I was going to preface that with Prism. So I'm going to have to segue out of my own answer here. So you've sort of put me on the spot.
We can answer the same. We can literally answer the same.
I tell you what, I'm going to challenge Nathan on his own answer here.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think you would be surprised at how cheap some Flawless stuff goes for. Flawless base cards and Flawless veteran cards is very, very surprising. Now, obviously, when you're hunting for that low end stuff, you do have to get lucky. So you sort of need to go into eBay and put your name into the lucky dip, 50 times before you get, 2 things. But at the same time, now that you've taken Select and you've taken Prism out of it, and I only could choose one thing, yeah, I'm going to say that. Because if you think about all the money you spend on Select and Prism, so now I've got all that I could just put into like buying cheap singles of Flawless.
So you're going to buy Flawless. Nice. What are you going to do with all the Mosaic you miss out on?
I think the problem with Mosaic that's really shown out this year is they made a massive mistake changing out Stained Glass as the case hit. And the Razzle Dazzle cards have somehow been selling for cheaper than the Stained Glass. And I think that's going to end terribly for some people who have spent money on Stained Glass when the pop counts start coming back.
True.
And
Nice.
I really think they made a mistake with that. So
Nice.
that even put me off. And I'm like the biggest defender of Mosaic.
True.
But I had to answer his question though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I picked my lane there. So yeah.
Yeah.
I feel fine with this. Ados Uchos. Thank you for the opportunity to ask a question. Ados, you are very welcome, sir. Rookie cards in general are the most sought after cards for individual players. However, players do not always play for the team from their rookie year. My question is, if a player swaps teams and does something significant on that team, do their first year cards in their new uniforms become more desirable? And do you think that it could ever be the case that it would overtake a rookie card? E.g., Damian Lillard's first cards in a Bucks uniforms if they win a chip, and he's the final MVP. Adam, what do you think about this?
I think rookie cards will always be king,
Yeah.
but when a player changes teams, if the player, it depends if you're collecting the player or the team. So if I'm a Bucks fan and I want a Damian Lillard now that he's come across, because we'll use Lillard as the example that Ados has pointed out.
Yeah.
I do want a nice Damian Lillard in a Bucks jersey. I'm not a Lillard collector.
Particularly if you're a Bucks fan.
Yeah, if I'm a Bucks fan, I'm like, yeah, I don't want a Lillard rookie card. I don't want a random Lillard auto of him in Portland. I want the first auto of him in Milwaukee. Because he's now repping my team. So yeah, I think it does. It's the type of collector, and these days, there is a variety of like types of collectors, i.e., people that collect players, people that collect their team, people that do a combination of both, people that don't particularly collect either that, they just want to assemble good cards. Yeah, there's many different ways to collect. So I think when you do see a player change teams, fans of that team will want to acquire that player in their team's jersey. Is probably yeah. But rookie cards are still king.
Yeah, I see no potential scenario that a non-rookie card would be more desirable than a rookie card. And if we're using the Lillard example, there is no way that a 15th year Prism card is going to sell for more than his rookie. It's just like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. So when I actually was first skim reading this answer, what my initial answer was going towards was, does a player's uniform influence the price of the card? And that's the thing that I think really does influence that. So the easy example is Kyle Kuzma rookie cards being in a Laker uniform. Like some of that stuff sold for so far overs when you look back at it now, and the only way you can really justify it is the fact that it was in a Lakers uniform. It really wasn't to do with his output.
Well, he did win a Summer League MVP, and he was touted as one of the young core that they kept.
Yeah, but I think
then they got rid of him for Westbrook.
Yeah, but I think that's to do with the fact he was on the Lakers, right? You think about him as a prospect. Like, he's not a fantastic athlete. He's not a fantastic dribbler or passer.
He's a scorer.
His jump shot is questionable, I would say. He can get to the basket sometimes against some people, but he's not like consistently, breaking. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah, he didn't evolve. He had a lot of potential early, and then he didn't actually evolve as a player. Like, he came sort of undone.
Let me put it to you this way. If he was drafted by the Wizards instead of the Lakers, you would have been getting those rookie cards for 75% discount.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah.
As someone that's sitting there with the remnants of a Kyle Kuzma PC.
Yeah. Like, I think that's the influencer. I think particular rookies in uniforms, that's what you have to kind of go, what am I buying into here? Am I buying into a prospect that I believe in, or am I just paying for the Los Angeles, the Chicago tax?
Yeah, that's true.
This is a question from Cole spin_FX_ on Instagram. So Cole or spin_FX, thank you so much for your question. Hi guys, I have a question for next week's podcast. I'm looking for some advice and hoping you can lead me in the right direction. After recently starting to collect NRL cards, so for our overseas listeners, NRL is rugby league.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to start collecting NBA cards. However, I'm finding it rather overwhelming with all the different products. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that hobby boxes are where your chances are higher of picking the better cards. As I'm new, I don't want to go for the higher price boxes just yet. This being said, can you please advise what would be the best brand or cards for a newbie to start collecting? Love listening to your show, and thanks for your help. Thanks for the kind words, Cole, and This is a really cool question.
It is a really cool question.
Yeah.
I'll let you kick it off.
You want me to kick? All right, great. So where I would start is I wouldn't buy any products first. I would watch breaks on YouTube because I think that's the
Like it.
part that has really changed the last few years is you can watch any product get ripped and you can do it on demand. So it doesn't even take you, that long to find it, right? So that's the first thing I would do, Cole. So just spend time doing that. The next thing I would probably say is set your budget, because
Yeah.
the thing about NBA is you can literally spend $50 to $30,000, and that's not a joke. Eminence is
Yeah.
retailing for around that price. So you really do need to find a safe space for yourself. I think that's the best way to put it. So in terms of what are your better hits, so in hobby boxes you are generally guaranteed an autograph or a number of memorabilia cards, something like this. So for example, Select, it is 3 autographs or in total memorabilia cards. In Noir, it's 7. In Prism, you now get, geez, this is terrible. You get 1 autograph, don't you? Or is it 2? No, they've taken it back to 1.
I think it's down to 1 again, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's 1 or 2. It's not a lot.
Yeah. So, you can actually argue this either way. So let's just talk about Prism Retail and Prism Hobby. You can still get numbered cards out of Prism Retail. You still get the Silver Rookies, which is the liquid collectible card. And you can still get autographs out of retail, but generally autographs out of Prism aren't that collected anyway. So you can make a very good argument to buy Fast Break or retail if that fits your budget and in terms of, your sort of return. So I think my answer is it's really about price point, because I don't particularly, I think it's all in a ratio. I think what you get back from hobby and then what you get back from retail is all sort of in that proportioned price point. There's nothing
Agreed.
particularly better that you can buy to say you're going to get more money back. That's the answer.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wow, where do I start? I think it's he's very right. It's daunting. Like when you start collecting.
Definitely.
And this might be a good way to dip your toes. Maybe going along to something like a trade day at like an EJ Cards. Going in, finding a local card store and just sort of looking about what's there.
What a beautiful segue into an advertisement, Adam.
Yep.
That was professionally done.
What do I say? I saw the opportunity. I thought I'd pull on the string.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
it is, get into a trade day or get along to something like the Hobby Hangout. I think I'd go to a store first to get a feel for what products are there, and then once you've found your feet, so to speak, definitely head along to something like the Hobby Hangout, where you can buy practically any product you want. I mean, within reason, but it gives you the whole scale, gives you everything.
Yeah.
As well as accessories, a few deals on singles. It's a really good way to immerse yourself in the hobby and get a feel for what to get and what not to get. And it is different for everybody. That'd be my one caveat, is everybody, as you said, price point is a personal choice. What you want to collect, how you like to collect, is all very personal. Getting along to a store, talking with people in the community, and getting along to like a convention of sorts, like at the Hobby Hangout, really exposes you to all the facets of this beautiful hobby. So immerse yourself in it. But beware, do your research before you go and spend any serious money. Make sure you do your research, would be my other advice.
I think just to add to that too, I think that is good advice to go into a shop, because the other thing too is that takes out all of the scam element of buying sealed product off eBay and
Yeah, for sure.
is it a search box? Is it a resealed box? If you go into EJ Cards, they haven't searched the case, they haven't searched, all that type of stuff. So you're getting what you're paying for. I think that definitely takes the stress out of it at first, because
For sure.
until you sort of get your feet into it and get your head around it, that's like one less thing for you to sort of fuss about. I definitely think that for sure. But yeah, look, I honestly, Cole, I think for me, the really important thing though is just finding a product that you enjoy. So actually, let's use Select for an example. I didn't really pair this out that well, let's just say that Select is the product that you've been watching on eBay and you enjoy it. Actually, that's got 3 different price points. It's got Select Hobby, Select H2, and then Select Retail, which is Blasters. So, that's like a really nice way to actually jump into a product and do it at a way that's going to be, fine for you. So,
Yeah.
That's my final answer, actually.
Do you want me to segue and just put all of our sponsors in one hit? Or you can go and buy a bundle of packs from our friends. Yep, at the Bang Man.
Yeah.
There we go. Plenty of ways to enjoy this hobby.
That's great. Look, now we're doing it. We might as well do the hobby hangout ad at the same time, right?
That's it.
It's 12 days away, guys. So if you haven't got your tickets, get to thehobbyhangout.com. That's where you get your tickets for the show. We're going to be there. We're going to be podcasting. We can't wait to see everybody there. Should we talk about the $20 challenge ad?
Let's start. Let's figure it out. This is going to be. We're taking Pocket Change to the next level. I think that's the best way to explain it to our listeners. For anybody that's coming down to the hobby hangout, Russell and I will be challenging one another, but we also challenge our listeners. We'd like to see what people can get we want bang for your buck.
The best card for $20.
Best card or lot of cards? Because I'm going to be flicking through dollar boxes.
Oh, sure. You can convince me of that, but sure. The best cards for $20.
Yep. So you have a $20 budget. There's an honor system here.
Bring it down to us.
Yep.
Show it. So we'll be podcasting live from the day. The signs will be at what time we'll be. Then show it to us before the pod.
Yep.
Then we will announce it on the show, and then the winner will get a sealed box.
Yep. I'll have And if
what if you and I win though? What happens then?
Then we get the prize.
Yes.
They've got to do better than us. Seriously. Surely some of our listeners are better at finding deals that I will get distracted. I will get segued everywhere. I'll be lucky to spend my $20. I'll spend $5, I reckon. Either that or I'll overshoot the budget and I won't be able to put my entry in. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
I'm going to double check your receipts actually, Ad. To make
That's
sure
it. That's it. We have to come back with a
$20,
receipt. You know, imagine all the poor vendors are just like, everyone keeps asking us for a receipt for our cards. But yes, we will. Come and find us before the show. Make sure you get your entries in. We don't know exactly where we'll be, but we'll keep you posted.
It'll be pretty obvious on the day, though. I think they'll have some signs and stuff for us.
Yeah. So it should be fun. $20 budget. Go and get the best cards you can at the Hobby Hangout, and that is on. Is it the 19th?
19th of November, man.
Wow. 19th of November. It's going to be here in no time.
Yeah.
Should be a lot of fun.
Last question from our friend Al, or Franken TCG.
Yes.
Apparently, there's a B. Arthur playing card out there in the wild. Considering she's dead, do you think she can reach Kobe Price's graded? No.
No.
Adam, where do you sit on this?
That's
it. We've answered it.
I'm a hard no. Although, I don't know. What's the pop count? No, I don't think the pop count is relevant if it's B. Arthur. Depends. There could be. Things come back. Vinyl's popular again. So there could be an influx of people that are wildly obsessed with collecting B. Arthur.
Yeah.
In which case, the supply-demand balance might change.
We need to vote on a winner, Ad.
It wasn't the B. Arthur question.
Nah, sorry, Al.
Sorry, Al. I liked... Well, of course I went back. There are a couple for me, so...
So my vote is Cole, the Instagram question about where do I start? Where do I get my feet into? And this is not to say that the other questions weren't great, but I actually really think there's also something to be... So one other thing I've said too is people are actually nervous to put the questions forward. So this is my other reason why for this. I actually want to do more beginner stuff because sometimes I think we do go too deep overall.
Sure.
This is why my mum doesn't listen to the show. She's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So sometimes I think we should go back to basics and do basic stuff and, use the
We've
things
gone
that
from
we've
card
learned.
advice to cards for beginners. We'll do a beginners episode then.
Sure.
We'll get on it.
Anyway, so that's
We'll
my
get
vote. My
everybody
vote's
else
Cole.
to give their early their experiences,
Sure.
early collecting experiences. Okay,
What's your vote, Ed?
my vote. I actually like Nathan's.
Okay.
Which set would you collect if you could only collect
Sure.
one set?
Okay. All right.
Ah.
Let's go with Nath. It was a good question.
I know. I do like the. Yeah. See, we need a tiebreaker. Who's the tiebreaker?
No, look, honestly, with that or Nathan's, I'm fine with. So if you want to go with Nath, that's totally fine.
Should we go? Yeah, all right. Well, I'm happy to go with Nathan.
Cool, done. But yeah, definitely a very honourable mention to Cole, and I think also too honourable in the fact that
Well, hopefully Cole's down at if he's from Victoria, he's down at one of the local card shops soon, asking questions and getting to know people in the community, because it'd be really nice to sort of see someone like that pop in and learn. It's always good to see new people in the hobby.
yeah.
And yeah, if you're at the hobby hangout, $20 challenge, it's on.
We've actually done an hour ad, so I reckon a lot of this stuff we can carry over to the next couple of weeks, and I think we just say,
See,
yeah.
you don't want to close out with a who won the trade.
Yeah, you want to finish off with that?
Finish that and yeah.
All right. Our last segment for today is a who won the trade. So this is a trade that I executed at the Traders Day at EJ Cards.
Mm-hmm.
I gave up a Jaden Springer. So I buy cards off eBay with the direct intention of putting them into a trader's box.
Yep.
It's a case hit. It's a next day autograph.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some cards that I purchased and I'm emotionally attached to. I was not emotionally attached to this card. So when I was offered a Herb Jones SGC 9 blue rookie card, number to 199, I had some appeal there. The only thing I was kind of like, look, there's probably a little bit more value in the Jaden than the Herb. So I asked for something else to be chucked in. And to be honest, whatever he offered me out of his pile, I was going to take.
Yeah.
He offered me a Zach Collin encased 9.5 on-card autograph rookie card. So that goes back to Damo's thing. Oh, look, I actually think at the moment Zach Collins is on the up. That's my sort of a very low key
I think
up,
that
but on the
Spurs
up.
core
Yep.
is definitely on the up.
Who won the trade?
It's nice having a next day auto.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of turning one piece into two pieces
Yep.
for exponential value, but also then you've got the flip side of, I don't know. Now Zach Collins has already got a 9.5 sitting on it, so
Yeah. Which is
which is good.
tough to grade.
Correct. I think the as much as the next day auto is the first autograph and it's an on card, I'd take the other two. I would. What did the
The spread was actually quite even. So Mark Smith said next day autograph.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Yuga actually didn't pick a side. He just said that the Herb used to be his. Matthew Hull said that the Herb was better. Carl said the Herb was better. Andrew Dean, based on comps, he said that the Springer won out. Ryan Jewell said A because it's a case hit, irregardless of what the player is. And look, that is actually quite true.
Yeah, true.
Matt Tabe said the next day auto always wins, and then Damo said B for my boy Zach Collins. And look, I actually think if you look at it from the perspective of the bigger picture, I think that's right. The case is does win.
Yeah,
But
yeah, for
I
sure.
deliberately bought this to trade, and then to get something that I quite desire, which was the Herb Jones. That's why I feel quite happy about this.
Yeah.
To me, it's actually really interesting to see the split there. So
It's nice. It's actually
Yeah.
a really good one. It's not like a clear cut. I can see the value in both. And
Yeah.
and look, if you do find someone that wants to buy a Damo Zach Collins collection, you've got another piece that you can.
this is the Clippers and Philadelphia trading a poo-poo platter for James Harden, isn't it? Really,
It is. It's either which way. Either which way. Nice. That was a good session. I like that. That was fun.
That was great. Thanks, Ad. Appreciate your time, man.
Thanks for a great episode. And yes, we'll be back. We'll be back soon with some more stuff before we're at the hobby hangout.